Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We are in the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verses 1 through 17. Starts off, and God blesses Noah and his sons and all of his family to say, be fruitful, multiply, and fill the earth. This is the extension of the blessing that was given to Adam and Eve, right? And think about how this blessing is put within our very bodies, right? But it's absolutely necessary after almost the entire human race has perished because of God's wrath. And now God is giving this blessing. And in this, God is confirming marriage, and God is confirming and establishing the gift of family. In the next verse, God gives or allows that all the creatures, all the moving creatures, are given into the hands of man. That the fear and dread, we often associate that with man's response to God, but now animals are going to have that response to man. And every moving thing shall be food. Now, the way to see this is that God is providing for them. They've just come out of the ark. There are no fields planted with food. And so this is necessary to provide for Noah and the family. But this is going to be from here on out, right? And one of the things to think about that is the spectrum is everything that crawls, that moves. And so there might even be some unkosher food included in this, that later on dietary laws would say no. Now, in the next passage, it taught in verse 5, it says that if anyone wantonly and irreverently kills someone else or slaughters someone else, that this is forbidden. That if someone wantonly kills another, that they are to pay for this violence against others with their own life. And in this, God is establishing the law of the power of life and death for really the governing authority. And if he grants that power of life and death, God surely grants that power over lesser things. And so that those who break the moral law will be punished. Whether they believe in God or not, they are to be punished. Now, in the next passage, it goes on to say that whoever sheds human blood, that they're to be punished. And not to eat anything with blood in it. Now, why? You can have a lot of damage in your body and still live. I've gone through an auto accident. But if you bleed out, if you lose your blood, you die. Why? Because that's where the life is. Coursing through our veins is carrying the breath of life. And that's why it's heinous to God to eat the blood of an animal, and why the blood cries out, because the breath of God is in it. Now, going on, he says, I'm going to establish a covenant with you, never to flood the world again because of human sin. And this is a covenant protecting physical life. And with it, one of the things interesting to see is that when God makes a covenant, when God gives a word, that so often he links it with a sign. This is a physical reminder, because although the light is part of creation, but it beams through the raindrops to have that prism of the rainbow. And so this is a physical reminder of God's promise. Now, God says, I have set my bow in the clouds. And the way to understand that is that he has set his bow and arrow, his weapon, in the clouds, and he will not attack them with the flood again. But how hard it is, how difficult for a conscience that experiences God's wrath and terror to grasp that comfort. But the rainbow is a sign of God's mercy. It's not a sign of the LGBTQ. Whenever man takes God's signs and uses them for his idolatry, that's the worst kind of blasphemy. It is a sign, the rainbow is a sign of God's mercy. Have a blessed day.